everyone, I'm Glamourina Loon. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, welcome back. If you are a regular here. So today I have a video that's a little bit different than usual. I don't usually share animal videos. My animals are usually pretty much always in my videos, but I've never really dedicated any. And that's something I've been wanting to do. It's something I've been planning. I just wanted to execute it properly, I suppose. And so I've kind of decided to branch out and start a whole new channel for my animals so that you guys can follow their journey. But today, well, our journey, but today I wanted to share something, I guess, a little introduction. I recently got 5 new animal babies. Now, this wasn't exactly planned, but it happened and it had to happen. So I kind of wanted to introduce that, and that way, if you guys want to see more about what is going on with apparently my little zoo, you can go ahead and subscribe to that channel, which I'll have linked down below. So, as you guys know, I recently moved into my own place. I have my own house, and so something I had planned for quite a while was to be able to, since I have this space, to be able to take in animals when I can, and of course know my limits and everything. So that's something that I'm very, very passionate about, is being able to take care of animals, rescue them, and provide them the best life that I possibly can. So about a month ago, it all kind of happened at once. So about a month ago, I was over at my good friend's place, and his son has a snake. And so he's been trying to get his snake to eat frozen mice, but the snake is still a baby and it just wasn't taken to the frozen mice. He tried 3 or 4 times, would not take to the frozen mice, so he had to get live mice. And the snake is still pretty small, so he had to get rat pups. Now, I've never seen a rat pup before. My brother, he kept rats, and I thought that they were so cute, but I didn't live with him at that time, so I didn't see them when they were, I think they were already full grown actually when he got them. So I've only seen like full grown rats, and I was just curious about what a small rat pup looked like. He had to keep him for a few days. The snake wasn't going to eat for a few days. So yeah, I was curious about what a rat pup looked like, you know. And I thought, cute, and they were telling me how this little baby was super, super cute. It was super, super cute, and they were just going to be hang on to this little rat pup for a little bit until the snake was going to eat. So I went into the room, saw this little guy. I put my hand in, and he immediately crawled into my hand and snuggled up, and I started bawling my eyes out. All I could think about was this sweet little baby being eaten. And I know, snakes have to eat, and if a snake isn't taken to frozen, I mean, they have to eat. I get it, the law of nature. It was just, for whatever reason, the second I touched this little guy, I don't know, I just knew he was mine, and I had to have him. So, I asked if I could go ahead and keep him because I was so in love with him and I just could not part with him. It was like, I don't know, there's this term with rats where it's called a heart rat, where they just capture your heart, these certain rats, and that's how I felt. Like, the second I laid eyes on this little baby, I just knew he was mine, and we have been inseparable ever since. I just can't. I can't work. I can't work like this with this cuteness. What you doing? What you doing? I'm trying to put you down so I can get you some milk. Here, let's get down. Here you go. Okay, Mocha. Okay, there you go. There we go. No, okay. I'll be right back, my love. Okay. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm gonna get you milk. Okay.
be back. I'm gonna get you milk.
He is just the sweetest creature I have ever met in my entire life. I have owned many animals, but none are as affectionate and sweet as this little baby. So I brought him home. He had just opened his eyes that day, so he was still very small, and he shouldn't have been, because they're feeder rats, they don't care that they shouldn't be taken from their mothers yet, but he still should have been drinking milk. So I went to the store and I got some cat formula, some kitty formula, and I gave that to him for, he's pulling my hair. What are you doing? Yeah, I'm talking about you. Yeah, I'm talking about you. Come here, babes. Come here, babes. Hi. Yeah, I could feel him behind me just pulling on my hair. Like, Mom, you talking about me? So I fed him formula for the next few days. It was like having a newborn baby. He had to eat every few hours. He was so hungry because when they had kept him, they didn't know, my friend and his son, they didn't know how to care for him. They weren't looking for a pet. They were looking for a feeder. So he was just eating carrots, I think, and some water, but he didn't really know how to eat the carrots properly. He was still a baby, and he was used to, I suppose, being on milk. So every few hours, I would give him his milk, and even at night, I would wake up like at 3 in the morning, 5 in the morning to give him his milk, and we would sit there, and he was just a little snuggle bunny. Immediately he would just snuggle up in my lap, or when I was working on projects, he would just want to be held, and it was just the sweetest thing. Now I did know that he was going to need a brother. I felt like he was still really tiny, so I could kind of wait at least like a couple of weeks to get him one. And no, I think actually that week, I had him for about a week, and I just wanted to make sure his eyes were fully open and he was eating okay and everything. And I went back to the store that they had got him from, because here in my area, well, first of all, I knew that a breeder wasn't going to give me a baby that was his age. He was only 3 weeks. And they weren't gonna, that's just irresponsible of them for sure, of course, to give me a rat that is that tiny. And second of all, there were no rat breeders here in my area. I have been checking. I even have checked Craigslist to see if I can find any rat breeders that, are responsible rat breeders, but I cannot find any rat breeders at all. I have found a few people giving away their rats, but their rats are usually much bigger than Mocha. So, and that is what I named him, Mocha, because he is just so sweet, and he is so dark brown. But anyways, so I kind of knew my only option of trying to find a rat that is going to be about his age was to go back to that pet store. And we don't really have many pet stores that sell feeder rats anyways, or sell rats. So I went back to that store, and I think for like the next 2 weeks, they didn't have any rats that were his size. So I just continued to bond with him. I'm with him pretty much all the time. And I do know he needs a rat, he needs a rat, not just me. So I did my best to fill that role and learn everything I could. Now, the thing about me is my hobby is on my spare time just to watch videos about random animals and their care. I figure, like, just in case I don't know, I just like to study about different animals and their care, just in case any animal comes into my care. I'll kind of know how to take care of them, and then I can kind of expand on that. But on rats, I had actually watched quite a few videos, and I knew the general care about him. The only thing that confused me is a lot of the videos I had watched were full-grown rats, so I didn't know about caring for a baby rat. But he's been pretty simple to take care of. Like, once I figured, hi babes. Yeah, I kind of will, once I am fixated on something, I will completely fixate. So I learned all I could about how to care for him and what to do and everything. And I'm sure I'm not perfect, but I have done my very best with the situation, because it was kind of like I had to get him that day, or else he would have been eaten. So, oh, and just side note on that snake actually has taken two frozen mice. Mocha, right after Mocha, they tried again with a frozen mouse because they just realized it was too difficult and heartbreaking, and honestly kind of dangerous for the snake to be giving live. So the snake actually took to frozen. So yay, no more live rats for that baby. But anyways, so finally, I think it was about a week and a half later, I went back to the store, and they did have rats about his size. So I was talking to the girl that was working there, and I asked to see the little boy rats, and at that age too, it is kind of difficult because their balls aren't really that big, so it's kind of difficult to sex them, and I was by no means an expert at it at all. I couldn't really figure it out at that stage. So I was talking to her, the girl that worked there, and so she was helping me find the right rat, and she told me that this little cutie was a little boy. And so I brought that one home, and they were in quarantine. And as they were in quarantine, I was playing with him, and I suddenly realized that is not a boy. I could just, I don't know, I was really comparing, because there was just something about her vibe that just didn't seem like a boy to me. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but I don't know. I just got this feeling. So I compared her to the images that I found of the rats, male and female, and I realized this is definitely a girl. So thank God I did not put her in with Mocha. And I realized, okay, so now I have a girl rat, and I could go and get them neutered or spayed, but it is very, very costly and honestly very dangerous. From the rat group that I joined on Facebook, and they say I've seen quite a few stories where the rat passes because of the anesthesia, because they are just so small. And I'm sure this is not the norm, but it was just something I didn't want to risk, especially with how little they were. So I decided, I was kind of at an impasse. I had to decide between keeping this new rat, who is a female, which I wasn't prepared for. I mean, I really personally only wanted Mocha, but I knew he needed a companion. So I went thinking, okay, I'll get one more rat, and he will have his brother, and I'm sure I'll love him too. So then I had her, and I knew I could either take her back to the store, where they would definitely sell her as a feeder, or I could try to give her away to someone, but I knew it was going to be a little bit difficult, just because if there were no rat breeders in my area, I'm assuming there's not much of a need for rats here in my area unless they're going to be sold off as feeders, and I just didn't want to risk her being sold as a feeder. I just didn't. So I decided, okay, I'm gonna have to get another cage. So I got another cage, and I decorated it, and I knew the female rats, they like to climb a lot. They're a lot more active than the males. Males are a little bit lazier. So I got her a really tall cage, and I did have to get one a little bit cheaper, just because I used quite a bit of my budget to get him this expensive one, thinking I was just going to have two males. So I did have to get one that was a little bit cheaper for her, but she's freaking obsessed with it, so it's working out really well. So now I'm like, all right, I'm gonna need two more rats, one male and one female. So I waited about a week to kind of I don't know, get my head straight, because during this time, actually, right the week that I got Mocha, I think just a couple of days after I got him, my mom called me, and she said my grandma, she had this cockatiel, and she's had him for a few years, and I've just kind of always asked if I could have him, because his care wasn't the best. I could just tell he was suffering. He was very lonely. He wasn't paid attention to very much, and he was just in this tiny cage all day with no toys, one perch, one just wooden dell, And I would tell them all the time, you kind of have to change this up, or, he needs attention, and no one would listen to me. I would take him toys. I tried to take him some food because he was just on an all-seed diet. And I tried my very best to educate and spend time with him when I was there, but nobody would listen to them. He was just a bird, And finally, and also my grandma was terrified of him, which it was just all very strange. So anyways, finally my grandma agreed that she didn't want to care for him anymore and I could take him. Now I wasn't really prepared for this because I'd been asking for years and they always told me that no, it wasn't going to happen. But it finally did on the week that, a few days after I got Mocha. So I just knew I had to go get him anyways. And so I went and I picked up this cockatiel. And I brought him home, and he's been in quarantine away from Starla, my other cockatiel. So yeah, I gave him Starla's old cage for now, and luckily, like, I just get lots of extras of things. I just always like to have a lot of supplies on hand, so I have lots of extra bird things, and yeah, set him all up. And he kind of took to me immediately, which is wonderful. I mean, he was already kind of familiar with me, and I think honestly he was very attention starved. So the first couple of days were a little bit difficult trying to get him to come out of his small cage, which was I hated that cage so much, but it was really difficult to get him out of it because he'd been in it for, I don't even know now, maybe 6-7 years and never taken out. So he was very wary of coming out. You want to come out? You want to have some fun? Come on, my love. Come on. Here. Come on. Yeah, that's fun, huh? Lose your mind over it. Good job, good boy. Do you want to come out? Come on. Come on. You want to come out? Come on. Come on. No. That's a good step, though. That's more than you did yesterday. He had always interacted with me, but was afraid of coming onto my hand and everything. But finally, he came out, and if you want, I will do a video on that whole process. I did record quite a bit of it, and I can just talk through it if anybody's interested in that. So finally got him out, and I think just coming out really perked him up, and he immediately was just so loving to me. And I do want to go into detail about each of the animals and just tell their story in a more complete way, but it's just a general for this video. We bonded, got him into his new cage, and he's been so much happier. I just saw such a difference in his personality, his feathers, his whole look, his whole demeanor. It just changed so much with just a little bit of love and some more enrichment in his life. And so I'm really, really happy about that. So got him, and I named him Orion. He never had a name either, which I just found really odd, but they never named him. So I named him Orion. I wanted to stick with this kind of star name, so Starla and Orion. And okay, so then fast forward, got the Scotty. That's what I named the female rat. And so then I realized, okay, I need to get 2 more rats. So I went back to the store a couple weeks later. Now they're all a little bit bigger. Rats grow really, really fast. They're all a little bit bigger. Found a male and a female, and they're really, really sweet. So I have the male. I picked him out because he has like this marking across his face, the front of his face, that looks like a little mask, and it made me think of Persona 5 so much. And like when they turn into their little mouse forms. So he is a very, very skittish boy, very, very scared, just freezes and then hides. He's just so fast, and I'm still working on bonding with him, but he is very, very skittish, so I'm sure it'll take just a little bit of time. I've only had them for about a week now, I want to say. And been working with him, named him Phantom. His full name will be Phantom Thief. And then the girl I got, because she was just really chill, and she looked a lot like Mocha, so I don't know, I just thought that she was really pretty. Brought her. But immediately when I held her, I realized there was something kind of off, possibly. Now, I'm not sure 100%, but she feels a little thick to me. And I'm kind of afraid she's pregnant. So I'm not sure yet. It takes about 21 to 26 days, I believe, for them to go through the pregnancy and give birth. So I'm thinking maybe in about a week or two, I'll know for sure. And the good thing is I won't really have to do too much during that process. If she is a good mother and everything, she will take care of her babies, and I just have to kind of handle them, socialize them, keep an eye, make sure that they are being fed, but it's mostly up to her. Her and Phantom are in separate cages, of course, and separate from Mocha and Biscotti. So yeah, that was two more just small quarantine cages that the next two are in. And I wanted to introduce the baby girl, which I'm still deciding on a name for her. The possibly pregnant one. I thought because she possibly has a few buns in the oven.
Coming through. Come on, lady with the baby.
Hey, Rizzo got a bun in the oven.
I might name her Rizzo. So that's right now the contender, but I'm not completely sure. So I'm going to see when that happens. So now I ended up with so many animals at one time. I do not recommend this to anybody, especially it is a lot of time. You need the space for all the cages because when you quarantine, they can't be kept in the same room. So you need the space, the time, the money. It is quite expensive. But luckily I was able to do all of these things, and I'm happy to do those things. It's just kind of wild. It started off a month ago just thinking, oh, I'll have this little rat and I'll get him a little companion, and here we are. But it has been really, really fun getting to know these rats. I've never owned rats personally. No rodents. Honestly, I've always kind of been, I don't want to say scared of rodents, but kind of. Like, I had this huge fear of being bitten. So I did have a bunny though, which then that bunny was really mean and bit me all the time. But I just never really thought I would own them. But again, I kind of also Orion's calling me. I also know you never know. So that's how this happened, and honestly, I am freaking loving having rats. They are so intelligent. The most intelligent animals I think I own, which is saying a lot because birds are also very, very intelligent creatures. I mean, not that it's a contest or anything. It's just like kind of blows my mind. So yeah, Mocha's about a month now, and he is so sweet. Every night we kind of, before I go to bed, we spend time together. Well, we spend time throughout the day together, but he sleeps more during the day. So in the evenings, we spend a ton more time together. We put on a podcast and we cuddle, and it's really wonderful. And he's my little heart rat. Honestly, kind of my little emotional support rat. Whenever I'm sad, there's just, I don't know, he just has this soothing aura about him, and it's kind of interesting, especially now having 4 rats and seeing how different their personalities are. It's just wild. Mocha is my just sweet boy who is so loving and gentle. And Biscotti is my wild child girl. I call her my little psychopath. She nibbles. She's a biter. She's a biter, but not in an aggressive way. She just plays really hard and doesn't understand that she's hurting you. So she's my wild child, just super adventurous, crazy girl. And Rizzo, she's like my cool girl, very sweet, but just like cool, you know? She's kind of like, I don't need to be with you, but if you want to pet me, you may do that. And Phantom is just my poor, like, little skittish boy. He's just terrified of everything. But we're working on it. And then about Orion, he is older. I'm going to guess, I don't know for sure his age because he had a family even before my grandmother took him in. So he has to be at least 10 years old. So he is a little bit grumpier. He likes, how do I put it? He loves to have attention, and he'll be really loving. He loves to be pet. And when he's with you, he's just so affectionate. But then once he decides he's done with it, he is done with it, and like, just leave him alone. He'll get grumpy if he doesn't want affection, or if he doesn't want to have any attention. He'll get kind of annoyed about it. And he doesn't bite or anything. He's not that grumpy, but you know, he's just like, he knows what he wants, and that's it. Like, and with birds, you just have to respect their space. They're very much about like respect. I always think when you're gaining a bird's trust, it's like that scene in Harry Potter, in the book or in the movie, where Harry is being introduced to the hippogriffs with Hagrid, and you have to like gain its trust and like bow to it, and then they let you know, like, if they bow back, then you may pet them.
Nice and low. Back off, Harry. Back off.
That's how it is with the cockatiel. So yeah, I will go into more depth and more detail with each animal, probably in other videos on my other channel, but I kind of just want to talk about that here. And I think that's it. It's been a journey. There's Mocha Mocha. Come here, beds. Mocha Mocha. Where are you, babes? Oh, I think she's like, why is there a light in here? Okay, so I think that's it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and hope to see you on my other channel. And on this channel, it will continue on with more fashion. Sorry if you heard that heavy breathing, it's charming. I'll be continuing on with fashion and my nerdy stuff and my video games here. If you want to see more about my animals, then please go ahead and follow the other channel linked below. So that's all for now. Thank you so much. Big kisses. Bye for now.